Welcome to Michael's Farms Consults Agri Insights, where we cultivate knowledge and harvest success in agriculture. I'm Emmanuel, your host. Today we will discuss basic poultry management, profiting with broiler farming. There are 7 things we will be discussing on this. Number 1 is housing, the stocking density. Most people go into broiler farming without knowing exactly how much to put in either the pen or the cage. The appropriate density for a broiler farm is 1 feet by 1 feet. That is 1 square feet for broiler farm. That is to say, if you have a space of 12 by 12, 12 feet by 12 feet, you just multiply it, and what you get, 12 times 12 is 144. It means that is what the amount of broiler you can put in that space. If your space is 10 feet by 10 feet, you multiply it. Whatever you get, that is the number of broiler that can fit into that space. The second thing we will be discussing will be nutrition. I like to say when it comes to nutrition, it is garbage in, garbage out. You will hear a lot of people, especially in this part of the world, in Nigeria, people will tell you, you can use bread, you can use this, you could use that, but you cannot undercut the place of good food. Farming is garbage in, garbage out. As a matter of fact, when you go cheap with feed for your livestock, at the end of the day, you will notice that you spend more. Like the Englishman would say, penny wise, pound foolish. Number 3 things we'll be discussing is operations. And for operations, there are 3 basic things that is expedient, is needed if you want to have a successful broiler farm. The first thing is your thermometer. Even if you have just 50 birds, I always advise broiler farmers to have your thermometer, have a scale, and have a good heating system. When I started farming, I started with charcoal, and then I got to the gas brooder and the rest. So you could think of some people use lanterns, some use stove, but look for a good heating system that could help, and then get a thermometer and then get a scale. I'll tell you reasons for that in this video. In the bio, I would drop a link where you could see the exact temperature for every week of your broiler farms for 6 to 9 weeks, what the temperature should be, and only the thermometer will help you. Sometimes as a human being, you could get into your farm and you would think that it is too hot, but it may not even be hot enough, or you would think it is cold, and then the birds actually begin to cluster. Some of the signs that you have a problem with temperature is either the birds will cluster or they'll be running away from your heat source frantically. So you need a thermometer. The thermometer tells you exactly how much the temperature the birds needs every week. In your first 3 days, what temperature did they need? From 4 to 7 days, they need another temperature to stay in good optimal condition. And then week 2, week 3, up till the 4th week. After the 4th week, they can now self-regulate themselves, and then you no longer need a proper heating system. And the third one is scale. You would know if your feed is bad. You will not also know if you are feeding them garbage. You will not know if maybe the farm hands are actually not reporting the basic things you should have in your operations without a scale. And then I will also drop in this video where you could see, if you look through the bio, you will see where you could find out the exact scale. What should your bed weigh at day 1 when you buy the beds? What should be their normal weight? And then we would also talk about week 1, after feeding, they're supposed to have gained about 182 grams in week 1. What should their weight look like? Week 2, if you're doing well, what should their weight look like? Week 3, what should their weight look like? And then by week 6, you should have close to 2.8 to 3.2 kg. Then week 7, week 8, for those of you that want to do it on festive season, you should know those information. When you keep them abreast, it helps you succeed in your farming. And then lastly, talking about the operations, I also want, for those of you that have larger farms, use technology. I monitor some of my farms and some of the farms we consult for with CCTV. There are solar CCTVs units you can use now, and then from your phone you can see what is going on in the farm. You monitor the operations there. So that is that for operation. The fourth thing we'll be talking is biosecurity. And when we talk about biosecurity, we'll talk about the hygiene standard that helps the health of your birds. The best medicine, like I would always say, is preventive medicine. Fine, of course, you will go through your normal vet routine, your vaccination, and then there are normal medications you will take and but you must have a proper biosecurity, especially for those that allow their buyers to come to their farm. Is very dangerous. Someone must have gone to a farm to do a clearance sale where maybe there's a disease outbreak, and then they bring that to your farm, even when there's no disease. Birds from different hatcheries have different bacteria. So if you go to other people's farm, visiting your own farm, it's a very dangerous thing. There are things that should we use, sanitizers, we put dips at the appropriate places and the rest. So biosecurity is best. Preventive medicine is actually the best. And of course, still talking about biosecurity, the best form of housing you should use should be the battery cages, especially in Nigeria where it is allowed and most African countries still allow battery cage. Um, do everything to make sure that your birds don't come in contact with their dung. If you can't have the standard battery cage, you could still use a mesh to lift up your birds, even in your deep litter, to make sure that they don't come in contact with their dung. And the fifth thing we'll be talking about will be water management. They say water is life. In most farming, but fish farming, piggery, in fact, every form of farming, even planting, water is life. Water is everything. I tell people the quality of your water in broiler farming is more important than the quality of your feed. Make sure you get your water right. Now we'll be talking about sixth thing will be record keeping. Peter Drucker, the popular management guru, have often said that if you cannot count it, you cannot measure it. Keep your records. How many birds did you stock? What mortality did you get? Everything about there has to be proper records. For those of you that is in need of a standard farm record, what you look like, drop a message in the comments, get in touch with me, and then I will guide you. For the farm records, I will do it free for you. We will not be charging you anything for that. We'll give you a proper guide on what a farm record should look like. But you cannot manage your business if you cannot measure your business. So a measurement begins with proper reckoning. And lastly, for today, sell it. You have not produced until you have sold your livestock. Even if you start small farmers, you're doing backyard farming, sell it. Before, especially for broiler, try to get your market ready before you stock. Because broiler feeding is done 24/7. You don't stop feeding until you sell. And then they get to a particular weight. If you have a good lighting system and a good freezing system, one thing I will advise is that once your birds get to the exact weight your customers are asking for, you slaughter, refrigerate, and then when you get all your birds to the exact weight, you could deliver. But make sure you arrange sales before you stock. Thank you, and God bless you for today. For those of you that enjoyed our video, we would crave your indulgence. We would want you to subscribe, like. If you have questions, go to the comments, hit us up, and then we will be there to reply you and see how good it is. Until next time, happy farming.